Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess. It's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So opens with 1. e4, thrusting the king pawn forward like a spear, immediately claiming central space and announcing aggressive intentions. Karl Hessler answers with 1. And dann Schedar, a few. No. Shix, the Caro-Kann structure appearing, solid and restrained, preparing to challenge the center without early bloodshed. Wesley So follows with 2. d4, reinforcing the central grip, stacking pawns boldly and daring Karl Hessler to strike directly. Karl Hessler responds 2. Endarantai. Endame, nano. d5, confronting the center head-on, drawing clear battle lines and refusing to yield space without a fight. Wesley So pushes 3.8. f5, advancing aggressively, cramping black's position and gaining precious tempo against Karl Hessler's development. Karl Hessler plays 3. Marina Bjansai, Fence, and Anstello. bf5, sliding the bishop outside the pawn chain, seeking activity before the center locks completely. Wesley So chooses for Tor. nd2, a flexible knight development, quietly supporting the center and preparing future redeployment with hidden venom. Karl Hessler replies for Nia, Anons. e6, reinforcing d5, signaling a solid but slightly passive structure, bracing for a long strategic struggle. Wesley So jumps with 5. nb3, rerouting the knight towards c5, eyeing weak squares and irritating Karl Hessler's queenside. Karl Hessler strikes back with 5. Elishao. 9. f6, a sharp pawn break, challenging the f5 pawn and igniting early tactical tension. Wesley So calmly plays 6. nf3, developing naturally, reinforcing the center while keeping options flexible against black's pawn assault. Karl Hessler answers 6p. Sheda. Entiendes, ensimnasunein. Faranio. Decisive, supporting f6 and e5 pressure, slowly mobilizing pieces for a coordinated counterattack. Wesley So develops 7. Tor. bd3, pointing directly at h7, increasing kingside pressure and subtly provoking future concessions. Karl Hessler reacts with 7. And is you one. Erich. War. BXD3, exchanging bishops early, trying to relieve pressure and simplify the looming kingside threats. Wesley So recaptures 8. Tot. QXD3, centralizing the queen, keeping peace activity high and refusing to lose attacking momentum. Karl Hessler plays 8. Tot. None. Now. 5. Locking the center aggressively, gaining space, but also creating long-term weaknesses to defend. Wesley So castles with 9. Oh, securing the king and connecting rooks, calmly preparing for middle game operations. Karl Hessler develops 9 for it. 1 and on, Nia die Schender. Ashin Nura. Decisive, preparing to castle, slightly passive but prioritizing king's safety amid rising tension. Wesley So pushes 10. C4, striking at D5 immediately, opening lines and challenging Karl Hessler's central pawn structure. Karl Hessler responds 10 to it. Undemanda. And anjoven aan die ziwadera, verder niwaven. DXE4, accepting the challenge, grabbing material but temporarily exposing the queenside. Wesley So recaptures with 11. QXE4, queen active again, regaining the pawn and maintaining initiative without hesitation. Karl Hessler plays 11. Anil, Torrent. Onsanen, essential. End fight. A defensive knight retreat, preparing to reinforce the kingside and cover key squares. Wesley So slides 12 10 D. No. QEC2, repositioning the queen safely, keeping pressure while avoiding future tempo attacks. Karl Hessler answers 12 to T. D. Naninani, Ezidhani. QD5, centralizing the queen boldly, challenging Wesley So's coordination and testing his resolve. Wesley So responds 13. Ordon, meeting the queen confidently, contesting the D-file and escalating central tension. Karl Hessler castles long with 13. Nomini. And oh, kings diverge, the battlefield split, promising a violent opposite-side struggle. But Wesley So develops 14. BD2, connecting rooks and subtly eyeing queenside pressure against Karl Hessler's castled king. Karl Hessler plays 14 tighty. Endara. 1 Shamia, Fischal. I6, a cautious luft move, preventing BG5 and slightly weakening dark squares. Wesley So brings 15. Raccoon, activating the rook on the open file, immediately targeting chicks and queenside weaknesses. Karl Hessler responds, 15. Off-4. Konnai. Bite, stepping aside, improving king's safety and avoiding potential checks on the c-file. Wesley So strikes with 16. Bafive, a sharp bishop move, pinning pressure onto d-ideas and unsettling Karl Hessler's defense. Karl Hessler blocks with 16. Oh no. Shh. Odds even, a defensive rook lift, awkward but necessary to hold the queenside together. Wesley So jumps in with 17. nc5, planting the knight aggressively, attacking e6 and b7, tightening the noose. Karl Hessler exchanges with 17. That easier. bx5, giving up the bishop to eliminate the intrusive knight and reduce pressure. Wesley So recaptures 18. dxf5, opening the d-file, gaining space and keeping initiative flowing relentlessly forward. Karl Hessler plays 18. Andern, another fois. Now none quail. K4, counter-attacking centrally, aiming to trade queens and diffuse Wesley So's momentum. Wesley So accepts with 19. Coup is 4, choosing clarity, exchanging queens to convert structural and activity advantages. Karl Hessler replies 19. Nens, obradnilagir ziao. Under now. fc4, recapturing with the pawn, damaging structure but opening lines for counterplay. Wesley So retreats 20. nd2, reorganizing calmly, targeting e-far and preparing strong central domination. Karl Hessler develops 20 tiare. Nalin and Ningwanyis on Neidadal. Naseven, reinforcing central control and preparing to contest key squares defensively. Wesley So strikes with 21. Inksafur, the knight captures on Ifawa, winning central material and punishing Karl Hessler's overextended pawn structure. Karl Hessler answers 21 tot. And far. RX Donazer, forcing an exchange, injecting urgency and trying to disrupt Wesley So's coordination with a sharp check. Wesley So responds 22. RX Don, rook recaptures confidently, maintaining material edge and keeping firm control over the open d-file. Karl Hessler plays 22. Never in order. Oh. nd5, centralizing the knight aggressively, aiming for counterplay and blocking some of white's pressure. Wesley So pushes 23. Key, calmly strengthening dark squares, preparing far ideas, and denying Karl Hessler tactical tricks. Karl Hessler repositions with 23. Na. Jessin. Decisive, retreating defensively, regrouping pieces as the position slowly slips from his grasp. Wesley So advances 24 de tour. Fauer, expanding the center, attacking F5 ideas, and tightening the strategic squeeze relentlessly. Karl Hessler lashes out with 24. Anschau. Nun, Adenananas, Teni. Sheave an aggressive pawn thrust, seeking complications and counterplay on the king's side. Wesley So accepts with 25. Fxd5, opening lines, welcoming the fight, and exposing Karl Hessler's kingside structure. Karl Hessler recaptures 25 Torsti. Taranjan. Ailio. Axg5, opening the H-file, but weakening his own king's shelter dangerously. Wesley So follows up 26. Engski5, knight captures boldly, winning material and launching a direct assault. Karl Hessler responds 26. Then. Annen, at Sishandan. Enil, at Sun. Engc5, grabbing material back, but the move feels desperate and strategically late. Wesley So plays 27. A4, pushing the pawn, restricting kingside defense and preparing a rolling pawn storm. Karl Hessler activates with 27 dodge. Dania. Tunisia. Bananen. Foselrein Nullen. Vernalandschweier. Gate. Rook swings over, trying to generate threats and pressure Wesley So's knight. Wesley So calmly develops 28. BC3, centralizing the bishop, reinforcing control, and cutting off counterplay. Karl Hessler steps with 28. Andaniani. Shite, improving king's safety slightly, but the position remains grim. Wesley So plays 29. DD4, dominating central diagonals, coordinating pieces for a decisive endgame transition. Karl Hessler replies 29. Andin. Naun, Pistoan, Shidantihuis. Ends even, passive defense, bracing for the inevitable pressure from all sides. Wesley So improves king's safety with 30. KJ2, a quiet but powerful move, preparing to bring the king forward. Karl Hessler strikes with 30y. Sh. Nendor. Decisive, breaking the center, hoping to free pieces and muddy the waters. Wesley So answers 31 dart. BF2, calmly retreating, keeping structure intact and denying tactical shots. Karl Hessler swings again with 31. Unardi, Shimsharadvi, Dandolationis, Tapiforin. Data. RG6, doubling down on kingside activity, searching for counterplay. Wesley So plays 32. Nixa 6, a tactical explosion, knight captures on Essex, ripping apart Karl Hessler's coordination. Karl Hessler responds 32. Shenantain. Nindavshal. RX6, forced recapture, bleeding material but eliminating the dangerous knight. Wesley So strikes back 33. RX D5, rook captures on D5, crushing the center and swinging momentum decisively. Karl Hessler plays 33. Nadian. Ranyun Nomanor. B6, a weak pawn move, desperately trying to stabilize the collapsing queenside. Wesley So advances 34-34. D4, pushing forward aggressively, signaling total domination and kingside expansion. Karl Hessler responds 34-20. Oris. Nashis. Angsa 5, knight grabs material, but it feels like a hollow consolation. Wesley So continues 35. Steve, chasing pieces, fixing weaknesses and suffocating black's remaining activity. Karl Hessler retreats with 35. Bah. End. NZs. The knight seeks shelter, but options are rapidly vanishing. Wesley So plays 36. RD2, calmly regrouping, preparing infiltration and sealing control of open files. Karl Hessler pushes 36. William. Wanda. Go. C4, advancing the pawn, trying to create a distraction on the queenside. Wesley So responds 37. BG3, improving the bishop, eyeing a5 and supporting the kingside bind. Karl Hessler advances 37. Benfell, Decisive. N. 5, throwing pawns forward, hoping for counterplay that never fully arrives. Wesley So storms ahead with 38. A5, fixing weaknesses, restricting pieces, and tightening the noose. Karl Hessler plays 38. Dan. In. Dan. On Förin. Decisive, retreating defensively, overwhelmed by White's coordinated pressure. Wesley So centralizes 39. Kf3, King marches forward confidently, a clear sign the endgame is won. Karl Hessler pushes 39. Enters. Vernichtend. By Vernichtend. Humes. B4, last-ditch counterplay, trying to distract from the collapsing kingside. Wesley So invades with 40. RD. Rook penetrates deeply, threatening exchanges and decisive material gain. Karl Hessler accepts 40. Isn't. Nandade. RSD 6, forced trade, but this exchange seals his fate completely. Wesley So recaptures 41, Tarst. PSD6, bishop takes, material advantage grows, and black's position crumbles further. Karl Hessler plays 41. Named it Imatu, is Davades, Piskariwantanme. Byron, Figursil. Nana. Afiv, a meaningless pawn push, resistance fading rapidly. Wesley So finishes with 42. B7, bishop captures decisively, and Karl Hessler resigns as the battle ends. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.